Long ago, in a quiet village surrounded by rolling hills and ancient trees, there lived a young man named Arjun. Arjun spent his days wandering aimlessly, putting off responsibilities and telling himself there would always be time to do what mattered later. His family and friends tried to warn him, urging him to take his life seriously. But he would only laugh and say, "What's the rush? Tomorrow will come." One day, news spread through the village of a wandering sage who had arrived, a man said to possess extraordinary wisdom. The villagers gathered to meet him, seeking his guidance for their struggles. Arjun, curious and perhaps looking for answers of his own, decided to visit the sage under the shade of a towering peepal tree. Arjun approached hesitantly and said, "Wise one, I feel lost. My days slip by and I accomplish nothing meaningful. How do I change? How do I make the most of my life?" The sage studied him silently for a moment, then reached into his satchel and brought out a delicate hourglass. Handing it to Arjun, he said, "This hourglass is a reflection of your life. Each grain of sand represents a moment, and every moment that falls is one you can never get back." Arjun turned the hourglass over, watching the sand tumble downward, steady and unstoppable. The sage continued, "Every time you delay, every time you waste your precious hours on things that bring no value, a grain slips away forever. Time waits for no one." The weight of those words settled heavily on Arjun. He looked at the hourglass, realizing how many grains had already fallen in his life, and asked, "But how do I stop wasting it? How do I change before it's too late?" The sage smiled gently and said, "Begin with intention. Each day, choose one meaningful thing to focus on. Break it into smaller steps and see it through. Remove distractions and give your time the respect it deserves. Success, fulfillment, and peace come to those who treat time as the gift it is." Arjun nodded, determined to take these words to heart. From that day forward, he began transforming his life. He set small goals and worked on them steadily. Tasks he had put off for years were completed. Passions he had forgotten were reignited. But as his life improved, he realized something even more profound. The sage's voice echoed in his mind. Time is not just for achieving. It is for cherishing. Use it to nurture your relationships, to laugh with your friends, to hold your family close. The moments you share with those you love are treasures far greater than any accomplishment. Arjun began to live differently. He spent his evenings sharing stories with friends, mornings helping his parents, and quiet nights reflecting on his journey. For the first time, he felt truly alive. Years passed and Arjun grew old, but his transformation became the legacy of the village. He often stood in the square, speaking to the younger generation, holding the hourglass the sage had given him. "This," he would say, "is a reminder that time is not endless. Every grain is a choice, a chance to create, to connect, to live fully. Don't let it slip away unnoticed." And so, the wisdom of the sage and the story of Arjun spread far and wide, inspiring countless others to reflect on their own hourglasses. Now let me ask you, how are you spending the grains of your life? Are they falling unnoticed into the depths of distraction and delay? Or are you making each one count? The hourglass is in your hands, and every grain matters. Begin today. Cherish the moments that bring you joy. Nurture the connections that give life meaning. And remember, time is the most precious gift you will ever have. Make it count.